go to our next section. Okay, so now we're going to work with our first quantum sound, which is a quantum sound for manifestation. And this particular meditation unleashes the creative energy which is lying within us. And it's all based on one primary sound, a very simple sound, and that's the sound Ah. Now first I just want to tell the story of how this meditation came to us. This meditation was given to us by a great Siddha called Nandi. Many of you are familiar with Nandi, who is the divine bull of the archetypal Shiva. And Nandi is a great Siddha that was aware of the suffering of people on the earth plane. So he actually gave us this technique which is used in heaven in order to manifest, using heavenly principles. And even if you don't understand the premise, the philosophy behind how this sound works, it works. And I just want to tell you briefly that many millions of people around the world actually practice the meditation I'm going to teach you now. And that was through the work of Dr. Wayne Dyer. Many of you know of Dr. Wayne Dyer, a famous psychologist from the US who became a spiritual teacher. I sent him an audio tape of this technique about 17 years ago. I told him my personal story. He listened to the audio tape. He used it himself. He decided he wanted to first prove it with himself. So he used this Ah meditation for manifesting with simple areas in his life. He just wanted to see if it would really work. And it started bringing forth the results immediately in his life. Then he gave it to his friends, and his friends started experimenting with it. And they told him, this really works. And he asked his friends, pick something which is really attainable, maybe in a few weeks. Just prove to yourself that this works. Because I heard about it from this guru. And then his friends would go and experiment with the technique. And some examples of how people have used this Ah meditation. I'm not recommending it, but one person went to Las Vegas. And they learned how the technique went, how you have to chant Ah, and then bring the creative energy up from the sex center to the third eye. So this person went to Las Vegas, wrapped their legs around a slot machine, and said Ah, and they started winning. So the person came back and told Wayne, it works, it really works. And other people have used it for many different aspects of manifestation, new jobs, baby, new home. Literally millions of people around the world practice this technique. And many of them have not even met Dr. Pillai. So they don't need to understand the spiritual philosophy behind it, but it uses a few simple principles that I'm going to explain to you now. The sound Ah, the Siddhas explain that the sound Ah is the sound of conception. And we can conceive either an idea or we can conceive a baby. Ah contains the power of conception. Now, when we use the sound Ah in a certain way, we can move the creative energy which is lying at the sex center, and we can move that energy up to the third eye. And the third eye is the area of manifestation of an idea into an object. The difference here is that when you use the sound Ah and release it at the sex center, you can conceive a baby and you procreate. When you move the sound, or using the sound Ah, when you move the creative energy which resides in the sex center, and when you move it to the third eye, then when you simply hold a thought at the third eye, you can bring that thought into physical reality. It's a beautiful divine process which lies within you. It's very simple. The steps are right here. I'm going to walk you through the technique. But basically, you first begin by focusing on the sex center. It is the area of creation in the body, and it has a natural state of joy. Everything about this meditation is joyous. In fact, one of the key principles of manifestation is you have to use your emotions. There is nothing logical about manifestation. It's all based on emotions. And if you use emotions, you can bring your manifestation much faster and pull it towards you, because the power of your emotion is pulling that object or that person or that event into your life. Like the lady that decided she was going to marry that man. She attracted him to her like a magnet, and she used her passion and emotion. So in this meditation, we're going to use 3 principles. The first is that the sound ah has the full potential to help you to powerfully conceive, not a baby, but to conceive an idea into a physical reality. Then this sound ah helps us, very importantly, to move the creative energy which is residing at the sex center up to the third eye, which is the center of manifestation. We need the energy to be moved here so that when we introduce a thought into the third eye, then at that time the thought will be fully empowered with the sound ah and with this creative energy in order to turn from just an idea to a physical reality. It's a very simple and a very magical process. And like I said, the millions of people around the world who are practicing, they didn't need to study the Siddha philosophy or anything deeply about thought manifestation. It works like taking an aspirin will take away your headache. Now we're going to use a few other sounds in order to bring the idea into physical reality in a complete cycle. Ah will unleash the energy of conceiving of the idea. It will raise the creative energy up to the third eye. U is the second stage in moving from an idea to a physical reality or your manifestation. So U will help you to further move this idea into the manifestation that takes place in your life. Then we have the sound Ma. Ma is a sound which will square away a reality into your life. In the West, we have a saying that we want to square things away. And in fact, square is actually a divine geometrical principle. You can use squares in your house or squares while you're meditating. That's why yantras are in the shape of squares. I'll be explaining that later. Because squares will bring an idea into physical 3D reality. You have to square things away. So that's what Ma will do. So with these 3 sounds, we're going to now walk through the process of unleashing our creative energy. And with this joyous sound Ah, move our creative energy to the third eye, introduce the thought of our manifestation, and let these sounds empower the manifestation to take place in our lives. So I'm going to walk you through that now.